What's up, YouTube? So today I got a good one for you. Literally, if you watch this video, you can make 5, 10, 15, 20,000 plus over the next 30 days if you implement these steps. So what am I talking about? Real estate, of course. It's always real estate. But anyway, so we're talking about wholesaling and a specific marketing channel called Driving for Dollars. Now, you know, there's paid ways to do this business. There's somewhat free ways, and driving is, you know, basically free if you have a car already and some gas money. But if you don't, do not get discouraged. You know, you can bike around the neighborhood and do this. You can walk a certain neighborhood and do this. Do what you got to do. But I'm driving, so that's what I'm going to be, you know, talking to you about today. So as you're driving, maximize the minutes in your day to maximize your money. If you're doing something already, why not couple that with another tool that you learn and, you know, fatten up them pockets, stuff them like Chipotle burritos. So get in the car, drive, and what we're going to be looking for is, like I mentioned, distressed properties that have physical distress, tall grass, lots of mail in the mailbox, maybe, you know, tarp on the roof, something indicating some kind of physical distress where you can tell maybe this person can't keep up with the property, or it's a landlord that just doesn't care. You know, you'll figure all that out later, but my goal for you is to get at least 500 of these properties written down. So when you pull up, I actually pulled up to a property now, and I'll flip around and I'll show you guys this later, and I'll actually show you what to do when you get this information, you know, what website you go to and how to do everything. It'll all be in this video, so just continue watching. And so I'm here at one right now that I've actually owned for a while, but this was actually a for sale by owner sign. So that's another good one. You know, if you see for sale by owner signs, call. The number's already there. There's a lot more work cut out, because if there's not a number but you see a beat up house, how do I get in touch with this person? And we'll get to that. But anyway, this was a for sale by owner sign. I was driving a neighborhood where I already own rentals at, and I called the guy and we talked, got a deal, and it's been a rental for years. And I'm actually going to fix it up, you know, a lot nicer, because I bought this for $77,000. This house now is worth, you know, anywhere 185 to 225 depending on how you finish it. But anyway, getting off topic, back to Driving for Dollars. You know, I pulled up to this property, and what you want to do is, you know, number on the house, 123 North Main Street, Akron, Ohio, 44305. You know, you write that down, and you do this with 500 other properties. It sounds like it's a lot, guys, but it's not. If you're literally driving down a main road and you bust a left or a right, whatever pocket you turn into, there's at least 100 homes. You know, out of those 100, maybe there's 10 bad ones. You know, that's easy. That's not bad. Let's say you do this on a weekend or whatever, you spend a couple hours driving around and taking numbers down or addresses, you're going to have a pretty good list. If you do this for, you know, a whole month straight and set yourself up, the more the better. You know, it's a numbers game. So not every single deal is going to work out. That's why if you just write down one and think it's a home run and go home and do the homework, and then next you know you call them and there's no motivation to sell, you should have gotten more while you were out doing it. Anyway, so now you go to your county's tax assessor website. So here I'm in Summit County, and that's what I'm going to show you next. But guys, if you're in a different county and you don't know how to find you know, the tax bill or where the mailing address of the owner, drop a comment down below and I'll try to help out to as many people as I can. Obviously my channel isn't that big right now, so it probably wouldn't be too many comments for me to get to. So, you know, as long as I can, I will always do my best to get back to everybody. But so we're at a house now, we have the address, and let's jump into my iPad, literally right here in my truck, and I'm going to show you the next step. All right, so now that you've pulled up to the house and, you know, let's say you're ready to look at it now, you know, maybe not everybody has a quick little office set up in their car, but, you know, I'm here and I'll show you guys on, you know, a screen share where it's easy. But if I wanted to do this right now as I'm driving, you know, I go to Google, I type in Summit County Tax Assessor because that's the county I'm in. Again, if you're in a different county, guys, or you're having trouble finding this information, drop a comment down below. You know, I'd definitely be willing to help. Usually it's the first link, and then what you want to type in is just a street number and street name. So I'll pick a random street number on a street. All right, we're actually back in the studio. I decided it's just a lot easier to do it this way instead of, trying to use my iPhone to show you my iPad and all that. So let's just jump right into it and go through it. It's pretty simple. So for now, what we're doing or have done is, we got in the car, walk, bike, whatever. We're driving around, we're looking for distressed properties, and we're writing the property addresses down. So now when you get home, you want to open up Google and you want to go to your county's tax assessor site. So I'm here in Summit County tax assessor, and it's typically, the first link. So we're going to click that, and a box like this pops up. It'll have route, if that's how you want to look for it. I don't even know what that is. Parcel ID, we don't know what that is yet, but we do have the address. We don't know the owner, but we're looking for all this stuff because what we're going to want to do is get this information skip traced to get phone numbers for these addresses, so we can pick up the phone quickly and say, hey, do you want to sell 123 North Main Street? So I'm not going to click in this address box. I actually am going to click really quick, but I'm going to type in just a letter because when I do click in here, there's a couple, addresses that just pop up because of my cache. So, what you would do is you would type in, okay, you have, let's say, an address of 123 North Main Street, but some of these sites, don't allow you to type that in, or it's going to come with no results. So what you want to do is just type the number and street. So for example, if you were typing in 123 North Main Street, you're already violating. It just wants the 123 Main. It doesn't want north, east, west, and it doesn't want street, ave, or boulevard. So just be sure to keep that in mind. If you type something in and for a fact, like, yo, this was the address, take a second. Some of that stuff is real easy to miss. So let's just go right to it. I'm just going to type in city because I don't want to pop up with somebody's address. Not that it matters, it's public info. But so what happens next is, let's say the property address that I was actually pulling up at and saw that, had busted windows was 1730 South Main Street, right? So I typed in 1730 Main. This pops up, and now what you want to go do is you want to click, the only clickable link to get you to the info. So just a quick overview. This is what, my county's, one of my county's tax bills looks like. But what we care about is this box over here, because this is the property info, that we pulled up at. So you see 1730 South Main Street, Akron, 44301. So we have some info to now fill out that spreadsheet. So once you scroll down, and the spreadsheet that I'm talking about is right here. So what you want to do is, when you get home with these property addresses, you want to have something like this with this header. You want to have last name, first name, mailing city, state, zip, property address, city, state, zip. You need to have this. This is key, because now we're inputting this stuff as we're researching on the county website. So now we have, the property address, city, state, zip. Then we go back in here and you scroll down. Actually, let me do it like this. And now you see the mailing address. So now we have that info too to put in. So also, once you notice, the property address is different than the mailing address. So that's a lot of the time a really, really good sign, because it indicates that the owner probably doesn't live at this property. They probably have a higher motivation to sell this property. When you're dealing with somebody that's an owner occupied house and they actually live in that house, it's a little bit harder to get it done, because now they have to find a next place to live. For some people that's tough, some that's not. But for you, it's always easier if you have an owner that lives out of state, the property's vacant and it's tax delinquent, blah, blah, blah. They're a higher motivated person to sell. So, okay, now we jump back into our first spreadsheet and we fill that information out. And hopefully, at this point you've had, at least 500. That's what I want you guys to start out with. Now, what you want to do with that is you can send mail to the mailing address, but that's very expensive. You want to, it's called speed to lead. The faster you can get to somebody before somebody else, you can get it done and closed. And mail is also expensive. That's another reason why, we don't do it on a big scale. We send mail, but to very niche listen people. So, okay, you have this. It's ready to get sent to a site that does the skip tracing. And the site that I use is called directskip.com. There's a bunch of them, Skip Genie and REI Sift. I use various ones, but for starters, I make money off of this site all the time. It's a great site, and the costs are pretty cheap. So I actually have a link. I don't know what their costs are now. But if you drop some comments down below and want this special offer link, just let me know. You can get 100,000 records for $5,000 as a starter. That sounds crazy. 10,000 hits for $700. You don't even have 10,000 lists. So maybe you want to start out with the 2,500. And what happens is when you buy these, if you only have 500 to use and it skips 500, you still have 2,000 credits left. So I really like that. So now what this looks like is this. I have this calculator up just because it shows my email address here, and I don't need everybody sending me emails. But if you would like, for your boy, because I'm trying to show you guys literally how to do this from A to Z and make some money. So if you find some value in this content, just drop a comment down below. And if you got any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help. Hit that like button, that bell button, so you get notified moving forward, and all that good stuff. Subscribe too, help me get to that first 1,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. But anyway, back into the video. So you choose the file that you were putting together, and then what happens is you get a file back that looks like this. Now, I blacked all this out because it's sensitive information. Let me actually go to the front. So you start getting all this crazy info. Obviously you have the last name, and the first name, you already knew that, but then you start getting all this other stuff. Obviously the mailing address, city, state, zip, result code, like what is all this stuff, guys? Then you'll know if they're deceased, age. Some of this stuff is, really right. Some of it is really wrong. But what we care about now is now we have phone one, phone one type, phone two, phone 3, phone 4, we have phone numbers. And what phone type does is it lets you know if it's a landline or a cell phone. Like if you're going to text, you're not going to text the landline. That's why that information is valuable. Okay, so at this point you can call. Boom, you can call. Who was the first person that we had? Palmer. So you can hit up Palmer with that first number, and if it works, great, and say, hey Palmer, I'm calling you about 123 North Main Street. Are you interested in selling? The conversation takes off, you get it closed and make some money. That 5, 10, 15, 20,000 plus that we were talking about. Pretty easy, right? So, just to quickly recap yet again, I know this is a little bit of a longer video, but it's very valuable. So we drove around, we looked for beat up properties. We have a notebook. We wrote these property addresses down. We go home, we get on your county's tax assessor website, and we type in the property address that we're looking for. We fill out a spreadsheet with first, last name, mailing, city, state, zip, property address, state, zip. We send that information to Skip Tracing. Skip Tracing comes back with phone numbers. You call, you close, you get paid. It's that simple, folks. So if this was valuable to you, drop some comments down below, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell button, just so you can get this content moving forward. And I hope to see you on the next one.